Maybe?
Yeah, it's coming there.
Okay.
There it goes. There it goes. We're getting there. Honestly, we trust us. You know, eventually someday we'll have this down pat where we have no gremlins. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. If Mikey, you want to mute yourself so you can go and dim yourself down so you can do what you need to do. This is the August 27th meeting for Guilds of Requiem. My name is Dr. Robin Kearney Frazier. I hold my doctorate degree in adult education with an emphasis on distance learning. I'll try to slow down so people can understand me. Yes, I speak too fast, but everyone should be able to hear me, ping me. You know, we're on Facebook, streaming live on Facebook as well. Our agenda for today is introductions. We're going to go over our open positions. We're going to talk about the 2023-24 event season. We're going to have some brief reporting by the guilds, and then we're going to give a summary of the previous meetings of today and when to expect all of the meetings to be up on the YouTube channels. So as an introduction, like I said, I'm Dr. Robin Kearney Frazier. I have a doctorate degree in adult education. I do have a background in law enforcement, business management and marketing, theology and world religions. I have 40 years of experience in soaping and personal care products, over 30 years of nonprofit experience, 30 years in experience in jewelry and candle creations. Got an extra word in there, feels like it. 27 plus years of parenting experience. And I run on chaos, coffee, and cursing. Hey, I've got to have it in there. Otherwise, people will not understand if I drop a bomb. Sorry, I try not to. This is Mikey Lee Gravely. She is our vice president, she's our secretary, vice president of Guild of Projects, and our Resources Guild Master, although also known as our director. You know, you guys, you aren't the only ones who get your tongue twisted over all of our titles and everything, but it is kind of our corporate culture in that we're this old world of everything. Mikey has a background in customer service, crafting, and hugs, which we all appreciate. She's got 30 plus years experience in customer service. She has over 40 years in the veterinary field, 40 plus years of parenting with 8 years of grandparenting. She is learning to speak French, Spanish, Welsh, German, Klingon, and Italian. Eventually, she wants to open a yarn store to supply not just her habit, but she wants to be a master procrastinator enabler so that she can supply yarn to everybody else out there. See, that's how we roll here. And she runs on fairy dust, gossamer wings, and rainbows. Our Matthew Frazier is our treasurer at the time. He has a background in home renovations, project management, and nonprofits. He is a master electrician with experience in HVAC and alarm systems installations. He's got 15 years, almost 16 years of parenting experience, and he too runs on caffeine, chaos, and cursing. I wonder why we get along. The position is open. Matt is working as just our interim. He is having to focus on family member matters and work. That we are looking for a qualified candidate for our treasurer. We do ask that you either come to us with money keeping experience or nonprofit experience that you're able to easily translate to. Being a treasurer of a nonprofit, our biggest challenge is making sure that the 990 PF for private foundations is correct. That is our biggest challenge. That is the biggest reason that we need a treasurer. So if you have experience as being a treasurer, or at least with filing the taxes for a nonprofit, and you're looking to add one more notch under your belt, it should maybe be 2 to 4 hours a month tops, Mikey, of volunteer time. Yeah, a lot of this is going back and double checking to make sure we're doing our bookkeeping right. Once we get the forms filled out, completely, verifying that our 990 is correct. So our fiscal year runs from September 1st to August 31st. So we want to try to have everything submitted as quickly as we can, and as soon as the IRS allows us to. So that's kind of what we're looking for in a person to run the treasurer's position. Open guildmaster's positions. For some reason, I feel like I kind of got out of the line there. But as you can see, we do have 8 guilds, and as you can see, 5 of them have open positions. Now, while to some you'd be like, oh, wow, gosh, that's an awful lot of positions open for a nonprofit. Please understand that we are still in our infancy as a registered and recognized 501 nonprofit. It may say 2020, but we did not get our nonprofit status until 2022. So we are still doing baby steps. We've just stopped crawling and are doing our baby steps. As the president, I cannot hold any of our department head positions because that's a conflict of interest. I also cannot hold any of our vice president positions because I am the president of the nonprofit. Now, I can be a project leader. I can be an assistant to any of these other things, but it's our checks and balances that I am not going to be running any of these. So as soon as I can find capable people to help out, then I will be gladly going. One more thing off of my checklist. Our agrarian guild, anything that grows is raised. Homesteaders and Preppers Guild is under there. The same way with our Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar, the Agrarian Guild does help coordinate activities for the fall and spring events. So if you've got a background in raising and growing things or a background in being a prepper, which ironically includes knowing how to raise and grow things that aren't children. I got to clarify that, not children. Children don't count. If you know, and dogs and cats don't count. We're talking how to raise chickens, how to raise goats, ducks, cows, horses. Something that, is needed on a homestead or a part of survival. I love my dogs, but honestly, I don't want to survive without my dogs, but I don't need my dogs to survive. Our Crafters Guild is anything that has to do with the crafting world. It's kind of open right now. All we have is the Master Procrastinators, and Mikey and I were earlier today, we're tossing some things around to give the Crafters Guild some direction. So that is how wide open, we do ask that you at least be a crafter of some sort of crafter, artisan, or hobbyist, or whatever, because we need you to know the basics of the crafting process, and be willing to find, suppliers, group, help arrange things that go with other crafters, possibly crafting courses. We're not sure yet, but if that sounds like something you're like, hey, I'm a crafter, let's see where we can meet in the middle. I will gladly start a conversation with you. Our Guardians Guild is once again opening up. The gal that was running it has had to step aside for personal reasons. It's not that she doesn't want to keep running it. It's just that life handed her a rotten bowl of tomatoes. Our Merchants Guild has to do with anything that is making sales and marketing. I'm not going to just say, here you go, have fun with it. I will work with somebody. One of my degrees is in business management, so I take that department very, very seriously. And of course, our Scholars Guild, like I said, I can't hold any of these positions because I'm the president. Otherwise, I would be right there at the top of the list for the Scholars Guild. So quickly onto our 2023-2024 vending season. We are still at Pomarosa RV Park. We will be there through the 2024 vending season, which is after Ren Fair of Bandera County, May 4th of 2024. These are our event dates. We have the Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar quickly approaching on the 16th. We've got the Pirate Puppy Party on the 18th of November. Our Spring Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar is on March 16th. If Mother Nature and the weather decide to not cooperate with us, it will be rescheduled to the 5th Saturday of March, which is the 30th. Then, of course, Ren Fair Bandera County is on May 4th, 2024. Sorry. Talking about that whole parenting experience there. Where do we need help with our vending and our events? We could use lead coordinators to take on our educational presentations. Mostly that's just making sure that we don't have two people presenting the same thing, unless one's presenting in the morning and one's presenting in the afternoon. That I would be okay with, but if somebody's presenting how to process chickens at 11 a.m., well, then we don't want somebody else processing chickens at 11 a.m. because, you know, unless they want to work together, totally have it. But that is something that we need a coordinator for. The kind of help pull together who's teaching what and when, so that we can get it onto our calendar, our schedule, or schedule of events. We need somebody to help coordinate entertainment that is specifically for the Pirate Puppy Party and for Ren Fair Bandera County. Yeah, I just don't see how the Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar would need entertainment. I mean, if somebody comes to me and says, you know, I'd like to present there, I'd like to provide entertainment, you're going to have to really sell me on that, man, because it's all about education and demonstrations and knowledge there. I mean, granted, when you're done at the end of the day, you want to be entertained, but as a part of an event, that's going to be a hard pass on me. You're going to have to sell it really hard to me, and you're going to have to sell it really hard to Mikey.
Yeah, because I can't think of any entertainment that would really fall in line with the Homesteaders and Preppers.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't. I mean, I could be wrong. Somebody could come up to us and say, hey, yeah, I do this.
True.
Okay, you know. Okay, you know, but you're going to have to sell us on it. A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's not that we don't want you there. It's we don't have the money in our budget to pay for you to be there. That's kind of what it boils down to. We always need help with volunteers, which is venue setup, takedown, cleaning. We have to leave the park better than when we started setting up. So, you know, the hardest place to hit is make sure that we've got clean as the restrooms. Not quite sure why that constantly gets us, but yeah, the restrooms do need to be clean. We also need somebody to coordinate other volunteers that are coming in. Make sure they're working their 4 hours that they said they would volunteer. Make sure they get their food voucher. Make sure they're being taken care of, and letting them know how valued they are. I need help with advertising. Always need help with that. Letting people know that we are going to be there. If you want to just be the person that talks to the local news outlets, we've got Bandera Bulletin, we've got a few other places. One of these days, I'm actually going to get a news station to show up out here for one of our events, so I got my eyes on that. We need help with social media marketing. If you're not quite sure how to do that, pay attention to what we're posting on any of our pages. Pay attention to what's happening on the Guilds page, because everything that I'm posting on all the other pages is getting posted on the main page too. So that is, you know, kind of take a cue from that. Does that mean every day I'm sitting there and I'm publishing it? No, I take my 1 day a week and I schedule everything so it all goes out for me. Actually, I think I'm 2 or 3 weeks ahead right now, because Meta lets you schedule 4 weeks in advance. So I think I pretty much had us scheduled out as far as it would let us, and that was beginning of last week. So I will pretty much handle graphic design, or my daughter-in-law will. If you would like to learn a new skill, I would love to teach you. But if you are interested in any of this here, please email Requiem's Events of Texas at guildsofrequiem.com. Myself and Mikey will see it. We're going to do a quick reporting by the Guild. By no means is this going to be 100% inclusive of everything that's happening in our guilds. All right, where's it at? What? Give me a second here. The PowerPoint screwed up. Okay, So we're going to start out with our Agrarian Guild. Once again, that position is open. We also have our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild leader position is open. No, you do not have to be local for any of these. It does help on the Homesteaders and Preppers because we have the event here, but sell me on it and I might be willing to let you go at it. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on some of these. Crafters Guild, we've already gone over that. Mikey's in charge of Master Procrastinators, which is currently a group on Facebook where, yep, there's her hat. All mine are up in the closet. Not only that, well, you know, I've got 9 lumps that says why I can't wear it. My mind just went totally blank, darn it. Master Procrastinators is a group on Facebook, and that is pretty much anything that has to do with enabling all of us to be master procrastinators. I've already mentioned our Guardians Guild is open. I am also opening up the Service and Working Dog Handlers Guild project open, and that's just because I've got too many irons in the fire as it is, that I've been told that, girl, you're disabled. Why do you keep trying to work full-time when you can't? You shouldn't even be working part-time. Slow down. Matt is in charge of the international guilds. Requiem Kenya is our only project under that, and that is chaired by Xavier Mapenga. The Masters Guild is open. Our Vendors Guild project leader is open. Resources, there you go, Mikey. Next tab. Mikey's in charge of that, and I don't know why I put Space Station, the steampunk unit, under resources, because it's just Space Station Requiem. In order to be the project leader on that, you do need to be a member of Starfleet Command Quadrant 1, and that is because that is the primary fandom club that we hold a charter with. And that's why a lot of people become members of our club of Space Station Requiem, is because they're Trekkies. And then they realize that we're about a whole bunch more than Trekkies. But if you're just wanting to be like to help out with it without actually being the one that's in charge and signing the dotted line every month, then please talk to us. SPU is our shorthand for Steampunk Unit, which is our youth organization. But that one can be on the back burner too. Our Scholars Guild has the Guild Master position open. I am currently in charge of Hope Haven Academy and probably the Learning Pavilion. One is for our communities and the other one is just for members. Technicians Guild is Matthew Frazier, and currently we have no guilded projects. On to those that have information that we need to pass along. Back, I say. Come on, man, really? There we go. Gotta learn something new. Gotta lose something new every day. So the Agrarian Guild, for those who follow the Agrarian Guild page on Facebook, or follow our Instagram account, or follows the Guilds of Requiem accounts, you will see that we have been very aggressive in what we're promoting. So we have our Modern Monday Mastery series. Our first Monday is going to be about general gardening. As of right now, I am kind of pulling all that stuff together. I'm also doing second Monday's prepper skills. So I hear a child is about to be voluntold on that. Aquaponics is by Joe Leverage. He's of Texas U.S. Farms. He is in East Texas, and he has a aquaponics farm out there. He does commercial size aquaponics as a part of their community shared agriculture. Fourth Mondays is our intermediate and master gardening series. I will be pulling Matt and I will be pulling stuff together for that. But if anybody out there feels like, hey, I'm more than a general gardener, I know a little bit more than that. I might consider myself a master gardener some places. Maybe I'm knowledgeable about food forests. I'm knowledgeable on the soil food web or anything else that we, conservation techniques, water conservation, wildlife conservation. Maybe I know about foraging, what's good to eat, what's safe to eat, what's not to eat, what's good for medicines, that type of thing would fall under the intermediate and master gardener. On the fifth Mondays is recruiting. That's me or whoever takes over Merchants Guild, and that is going to basically be recruiting for the Agrarian Guild and the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. Excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups. our Merchants Guild, why do I also have this up here? It's because it was pointed out to me that I am derelict in my duties and I have not been promoting out on Merchants Monday. So I am hoping to get on top of that so that it can officially and formally return. The first Monday of every month will basically be information on how can I get featured there on even numbered Mondays. So that would be like, I think, pull out my book here. So that would be like the even Mondays would be like the 18th of the month, the 16th of the month, whatever. That is going to be anybody who's a local sponsor of Guilds of Requiem. So when we start talking about all of this right here on this side, I don't know, Mikey, can you all see my mouse moving? Or do I need it? Okay.
Yep, I see it.
That's what all of this is about here. So if you are being one of our doing one of our sponsors levels, that's the Monday you're going to expect to see yourself on the even numbered Monday, even date Mondays of the month. The odd dated Mondays are for Vendors Guild members, and it's going to be by alpha. So blissful gifts will be before sixth sense apothecary. Let me check that up to Robin has tongue-tied now. As you can see there, we talk about our sponsorship levels. Your first post is always free. If you kind of want a test run, you know, how much extra response am I going to get if I do this? I believe our first post tester was, let me pull it out here real quick. I don't want to say it wrong. My tongue's been tied all day. Hill Country PC Mobile Repair. They got a test run out earlier this month. So he kind of wants to see how is it going to do? Is it get a little bit more extra business for him before he decides, hey, yeah, I want to go ahead and do one of the sponsorship levels. So what's really cool about our first sponsorship level, once we have the money in hand from your sponsorship, it's $50 for 1 quarter, so that's every 3 months. You're going to get a vending space at one event. Whether you want to set up your business there, an informational booth there, if you want to promote a nonprofit that has a lot of meaning to you or fundraise for them, what you do with that spot is up to you. Okay. So that also gets you 1 post per quarter. So the first quarter is January, February, March, and then April, May, June. So we're in July, August, September. So probably the next quarter is October, November, December. You're going to get 1 post during that month. If you're getting the money to the end of this quarter or at the beginning of the next quarter, we've got the Pirate Puppy Party in November. If you're going to be there in November, guess what? You're going to get a 2nd post. So that's kind of one of those things of how it lines up. You might get some extra posts out of it. Now, say you come in at $100 sponsorship, you're going to get 3 posts per quarter. So that's 1 post per month, plus a vending space at 2 events. Plus, you're going to get promoted out that you're going to be at that event, or a nonprofit that you're sponsoring is going to be out at that event. $500, you're going to get a 12 posts per year. So that's 1 post per month. You're going to get a vending space at all 4 events. So it means you're also going to get listed, promoted out a 2nd time that you're going to be at that event. And you will get listed as a sponsor on all 4 of our events. That's going to be up on our web pages. That's going to be when we give a shout out to all of our sponsors for an event, before and after an event. If we have any printed flyers, it's going to get listed on there. So these are some really good values for helping out a nonprofit. And that's the biggest thing. We're a nonprofit. Guess what you now get to use on your tax return for your business or yourself, depending on how you file. Guess what? This is all donation to a nonprofit. So one of the things that I do have to talk about is if you provide the graphics to us, we know that when we use Meta to schedule out that all the graphics have to be the same size, shape, and ratio to go out on Instagram. So if you give us something to us in one of these are by pixels. If you give us these by pixels already set to go, then there's not going to be any extra charge. You know, the first quarter, I might, you know, kind of, depending on how much time I have, I might kind of waive that $25 graphic setup. That's, you know, that's where we resize the graphics you send us to our posting format. Now, if you need help creating a logo, creating a graphic, advertising your business, I outsource that. So that $50 is firm. And what she gives back to you is she gives you square graphics, horizontal graphics, vertical graphics. I think she's even got the ability to give you a vector or a transparent background. So vectors are really good if you're going to have t-shirts printed up for your business, because they're high resolution, high quality graphics. So that's something to keep in mind, and especially if you're a brand new business and you need a little bit of help with your graphics design. So summary of the meetings held earlier today. Well, we had our service and working dogs, and we went over when is it time to retire your service dog. Did not have anybody pre-register for our onboarding sessions. That is available to anybody at any time. If you say, hey, I'm not available on the weekends, could we maybe meet on a Monday? Just let me know. We'll sit out a time that works good for you. If you want to have a one-on-one session with me on how to belong to the Guilds of Requiem, or just to get an better feel of what Guilds of Requiem is about, and then I will work with you on all the other onboarding sessions. Our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild, we basically went over the Agrarian Guild, the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. We did a quick hurricane prep. I kind of got called away, but all the information was up on the screen. We were streaming that one live, right, Mikey? No, yeah, it was the Homesteaders and Preppers. We were streaming live on the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild page on Facebook. So it is there. I'm sorry I cut short towards the end, but when we post it to our YouTube channel, and when I put the links up on the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild page, the whole PowerPoint will be there. That's how we do all of our meetings. We do our recorded session, then we publish it. Doing this one live is kind of our first time in a while, because I live out in the middle of Nowheresville, that even though we're relatively close, our internet stinks out here. We had our brief executive board meeting where we kind of discussed some of the changes that we have coming up. We're already starting to get in discussions for our annual board meeting, which is September the 3rd. I may have just opened mouth and inserted foot.
No, it should be September 3rd.
September the 3rd, and that's our 11 a.m. one this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's basically our first official meeting for our fiscal season. We try to have two meetings per year, one that coordinates with the beginning of our fiscal year and one that's about halfway. So I believe that other one's in January. We had our event planning committee where I went through really fast on what you saw for the events coming up. We went through that in more detail. I yapped my trap for quite a bit of while. Then we got onto a conversation. Hey, I'm a teacher. I'm allowed to yap my trap. We did get into conversation about the future, what the future holds for events of Guilds of Requiem. And then, of course, we got our monthly meeting here. So that's, can't recap that until I get to, hey, what do you know? Summary of meetings earlier in the day. There we go. Guess what? And we're to the end. Maybe? Yes, we're to the end. So that's a summary of today's meetings. We hope that you have enjoyed being with us today. We look forward to seeing you at some of our other meetings in future months. I do kind of try to remind everybody that we do take the holidays off. So basically, we are technically off from the middle of December to the middle of January. Even though us board members, that's the one time of the year that we don't get to be bored. We have to actually, earn our volunteer hours. Yeah, I know there's a bad joke in there, and I just won't get into it. We do have our board member meeting in January. We do not have an executive board member, and we had somebody ask me what's the difference, because I thought they were different For us, our board members are the ones who are bored most of the year because we really don't have that much to do. Our executive board members are the ones who execute our day-to-day business. So therefore, there are executive board members. That's kind of our little way of remembering who is who. We also have our vice presidents of the different projects that we oversee. And the only time that they really meet is at the September meeting. Once we get some more, we might say that they also have to be in the January meeting, but right now they're just kind of basically there to say, this is what happened in the last year, for what happened underneath my purview. So normally Mikey doesn't have to say anything about the gilded projects, except for in the September meeting. Mikey, by the way, I'm putting you on notice that you're going to have to actually talk during the September meeting.
And that's good. I'm ready for it because I need to get used to speaking more at the
Okay,
meeting
so
anyway.
this is the last that I'm doing the Requiem Events of Texas meeting, just an FYI.
Okay.
All right, well, Mikey's glad that she was in attendance now, but that is pretty much everything that we have for the evening. If you have any questions or comments, you can comment below in any of our live, or once we have this up on our YouTube channel, just comment below and we will see it. Somebody will answer it if you need to be contacted. So either myself, and I am Rashana L. Till on Facebook, so it might be me or it might be Mikey, and she's under her name on Facebook. We'll reach out to you if you just leave a message. If you want somebody to contact you by email, just message our page, our Guilds of Requiem page, or go to the www.guildsofrequiem.com website and use the submit portion, submit a comment at the bottom of the website page, and one of us will reach back out to you. If for some reason you're not receiving a reply on anything more than past the 5th business day, my email address is president@guildsofrequiem.com, or you can reach the property one, which is requiemranch@gmail.com. I can pretty much guarantee you that my eyes are on all of the emails. I try to stay on top of them the best that I can until we have more volunteers. Probably even when we have more volunteers, my eyes are still probably going to stay on top of them, just because I know that our volunteers work full-time plus. And so I try to do what I can when I can to help everybody out. So thank you, good evening, and good night.